Hello student. Today we will discuss about Arnold Sommerfeld, okay, who was actually German scientist. no? His full name was Arnold Johansen William Sommerfeld. Okay, he worked on so many concept. Okay, so many. He actually was uh, German theoretical physicist. Okay, he developed atomic physics, quantum physics. He's contributed so many kind of things in physics. Okay, and he was a supervisor of many Nobel Prize winners in physics and chemistry. So as you know that the Sommerfeld given the proper explanation of the what the atom. Okay, and today we will discuss about it. Okay, so what about the Sommerfeld contribution in the Bohr theory? Okay, so Bohr Sommerfeld theory described the atom in terms of two quantum number. Okay, while Bohr had originally used only one quantum number. With this extension, the theory provided an explanation of the Stark effect and ordinary Zeeman effect, okay, and the fine structure of hydrogen spectrum, okay, and so many things. It is having lot of importance, okay. So let's describe one by one things about the Sommerfeld extension of Bohr theory. So in 1915, okay, 1915, sorry, this is in 1915, okay, Sommerfeld proposed moving actually electron might describe by the elliptical orbits in addition to circular orbits, because in Bohr theory he talked about what the circular orbits, okay, but he actually Sommerfeld exclude actually some addition here. Okay, he told that the electrons can have elliptical orbit actually. Okay. So second, if we will talk during motion on a circle, okay, only the angle of revolution changes while the distance from the nucleus remains the same. Okay, if we will talk about the third thing, but in elliptical motion, both the angles of revolution, okay, and the distance of the electron from the nucleus changes. The distance from the nucleus is termed as radius vector, and the angle of revolution is known as azimuthal angle. There are two kind of angle are there. You can say there are two components, which is one is radial and another is azimuthal. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. One thing, let me, okay, so if you will go the tangential velocity of the electron at a particular instant can be resolved into two components, as I told before you, one along the radius vector called the radial velocity, and one other perpendicular to the radius vector called the transverse or angular velocity. These two velocities give rise to radial momentum and the angular or azimuthal momentum. You can see there are two type of momenta. One is radial and second is what, angular or azimuthal. Okay, the Sommerfeld proposed that both the momenta must be integral multiples of h by 2. Okay, as I told you in Bohr atomic model. Okay, the orbit, the orbit is what, integral multiple of h by 2. So here you can see the same thing. In diagram you can see there is a focus, as we call them nucleus or anything, which is a center for the electron. So you can see there A diagram, the velocities are having tangential direction. Similarly, if you will see second, there is a major axis and minor axis. Okay, and you can see the direction of radial velocity, tangential velocity, and focus, and where should be the angular velocity. So electron can be effect of the electron can be revolved in so many directions, okay, but it has the definite what radial momentum and azimuthal momentum. You can see in a slide there is a radial momentum nr, okay, into h by 2 pi, okay. So as I told, the momenta should be integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So here you can see the radial momentum is nr h by 2. Similarly, azimuthal momentum n5 h by 2, okay. If you will talk about nr and n5, they are related by the main orbit n, such that n equals to nr plus n5, okay. This is a main orbit and nr is a radial and 5 is azimuthal, you can see there. So n upon n5, if we will divide whole the equation by the n5, then we will get what? The length of major axis nr plus n5 and the length of minor axis, this is only n5. So n5 cannot be 0, okay, because under this condition the ellipse shall take the shape of a straight line, okay. In this condition, okay, if we will take, okay, n5 is equals to 0, ellipse will take what? Straight line. This is not possible. n5 cannot be more than n, because minor axis is always smaller than major axis. That's correct. If we will talk about the 3, n5 can be equal to n. Under this condition, the major axis becomes equal to minor axis and the ellipse take the shape of circle, okay. Thus n5 can have all integral values up to n but not 0. Similarly, as I told in the first thing, n5 cannot be 0, because if you will take n5 is equals to 0, the ellipse will be a straight line, and if you will take another orbit, circle orbits, it will take also ellipse will convert in a circle. But this is not possible actually, you know? When the values are less than n, orbit are elliptical, and when it becomes equal to n, the orbit is circular in nature. You know that, okay. So let's go ahead. For n equals to 1, n5 can have only one value, that is 1. Therefore the first orbit is circular in nature. That's correct. If we will talk about the second, n equals to 2, n5 can have two values, 1 and 2. That is, second orbit has two sub orbits, one is elliptical and other is circular in nature. If we will talk about the f4, n is equals to 3, n5 can have three values, 1, 2 and 3. That is, third orbit has three sub orbits, okay. Okay, two are elliptical and one is circular in nature. For n equals to 4, n5 can have four values, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is, fourth orbit has four sub orbits, 3 are elliptical and fourth one is circular in nature. So you can see in a figure, there is a figure, you can see a different value of n having different kind of what? Orbits. The shape are changing, shapes are depend on what? The value of n, okay. So this is the very important diagram which we have seen, okay. And if you will go ahead, Sommerfeld does introduce the concept of sub-energy shell, okay. In Bohr case we don't know about the what sub-energy shell, but here we know the sub-energy shell, okay. And in a main energy shell, the energies of a subshell differ slightly from one another. That's correct. If you will go ahead, hence the jumping of an electron from one energy shell to another energy shell will involve slightly different amount of energy, as it will be depend on subshell also, okay. In Bohr case, what we have done actually, if the electron will jump from the one orbit to the another orbit, it will what? It will release or what? It will release or get, okay, or consume some kind of some side of energy actually, okay. So this depend on shell also, this energy, how much energy it will get. This will depend on the shell. This explains to some extent of finite spectrum of hydrogen atom, okay. And now actually these things explain what? The spectrum of hydrogen atom. That's correct. So if you will talk about the limitation of the Sommerfeld extension, Sommerfeld extension fails to explain the spectra of multi-electron. It successfully explain what the spectra of hydrogen, but if you will get okay, the multi-electron atoms, it's not a it's not actually satisfying the conditions, so that's why this has gone some kind of limited, and that's great. Thank you.